What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning into the Vibe Show. I'm Vashawn Mosley, the host of the Vibe Show. And today I got a special guest in the building, my friend Karina. What's going on, Karina?
Hello.
What's going on, mama? Now, me and Karina, we're going to debate today. We got a question, and we want everybody else to chime in, and me and her talk about it all the time. So we just going to jump right into it. And the question that we pose today is this: is marriage declining because men have it too easy? I feel like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I'm sure Karina don't feel the same way. So let's talk about it. Karina, now from a woman's point of view, let's talk about this. How do y'all feel about marriage today and what men are doing to make it happen?
I believe that men have it very easy in today's age, and as a result, marriages are declining.
Well, could you now when you say men have it easy, could you elaborate on what do men have that's so easy that women can't land a man to marry them?
Well, for starters, social media has made it very easy for them to find what they're needing in those moments, that whatever needs that they have come up. And so it's becoming like ordering a pizza. And so they're taking women for granted is what's happening.
All right. Now, when you say they are taking women for granted, now you may not know this because on the woman's side, you see it a different way. But as a man, I know for a fact that that's not true. 90% of the men out here want to get married and they are good men. The problem is that most women are curving good men and they are choosing bad boys and losers over the actual good men that would treat them like gold. I mean, think about it. Even in your situation, how many men have you turned down and passed over because you wasn't attracted to him, even though he probably was a good person?
It's
Most
the
of the women are
behavior.
doing, but that's what I'm saying. Most of the women are curving good men because they're not attracted to him or he don't make enough money. So when they pick a bad boy that don't want to get married or be in a relationship, and then they claim all men are terrible, when it's really the women that's picking the losers. Look at all of these baby mamas. You know how many women I know tell me that they knew that their baby daddy was a loser, but he had good sex or he looked good. So she chose a loser, and now she mad at all men because she chose wrong. So talk to me about why do women choose bad boys over a good guy that they know will marry them?
So I think that is a general assumption across all women. I believe that a lot of women choose men that are seeming to be good, but end up being horrible. And a lot of good men cheat regardless of how good their image is portrayed. So it's getting harder to choose what's real and what's not real because everyone can fake their entire life online, and it's making it harder for people to weed bad people out.
Well, let
Um,
so when you said fake their entire life online, that's another something. And you tell me because I'm so happy to talk to you about this. That's another problem that I hear from all men. I hear men talk about how women they put on a persona online, and it's everything from the how they look. I've heard guys say
right.
that.
And let me talk about that
Go ahead.
because that's another thing that society has condoned to happen. Society has placed so much value on image in women that women feel the need to do those things and go way more effort in portraying their image than the previous women had to because of how much importance is placed on that now.
But
And it's society's fault for condoning that
but now but when but this
and
see
for
this
rewarding that.
I
And that's
agree. Go
why
ahead.
teachers make less money than strippers.
I agree. No, I definitely no, I feel like teachers definitely should be making way more. But I think that I think one of the problems with that though is that when you look at the way women are, and you're right, women feel like they can get way more likes in a bikini than they can, dressed like they going to work at a Fortune 500 company. I get that. I mean,
Well, the
makeup,
problem is that society is rewarding that behavior more than the behavior that is professional.
but eh, but
So
but so no, I agree with you. But then the question is though, whose fault is it to keep it going? And what I mean by that is, just because society say you can get more likes being half naked, do you have to be half naked?
The problem is that the demand is there because of men.
Well, I mean, but what I'm saying is, even if the demand is there, do you have to supply it with your flesh? No,
No, obviously there's a choice, but
exactly. So
unfortunately, women have it harder than men.
but they don't have it harder. Just dress like a
They
nun and
do.
don't worry about it.
They're not taken as serious.
But when you have naked and twerking online, how can they take you serious?
Okay, that's not me, but I'm saying that women are paid less than men. They go through more. You know, they're expected to have children. When they have children, they take a greater financial hit than a man does
Well,
in re-entering the workforce.
Oh, I was about to say, a greater financial hit. You obviously don't know men. Men are paying child support like crazy out here. They taking more of a financial hit.
They have
I
to,
mean,
because
look
women
at Dr. Dre just lost $100 million to a girl that never wrote a song in her life. She never wrote one song, never made one video, never produced one beat, and she took $100 million of his hard-earned money. So how is that fair to him when he did all the work? She was just a housewife. And be honest with you, had he paid her what a housewife or a maid or a housekeeper would be paid, she sure enough ain't gonna be worth no $100 million. So think about
unfortunately,
it.
huh?
So I'm saying, so do women ever think about it on that end? Like we were talking about earlier about men not wanting to get married. It's a lot of men waking up to the fact of a Dr. Dre situation where men feel like, why would I marry a girl? I'm gonna tell you, and I'm glad we're bringing this up, because as a woman, I'm sure girls don't talk about this, but I'm gonna tell you, then you tell me how girls feel. Men talk all the time amongst each other, and men are saying that they tired of these feminist women saying that men ain't nothing, men this, men trash, men misogynistic, but yet they still want a man, which makes no sense. If men are all these horrible people, just be a lesbian. So that makes no sense. So, and secondly, men feeling like they are tired of having to chase after women. Now, mind you, when you chase after a woman, you don't know what's going to happen, because now all of a sudden, women call you all kind of names, even if you speak to them in a good manner. You don't know whether she gonna feel like it's sexual harassment or she gonna accept the fact that you called her beautiful. Men don't even know. So now men got to deal with that. And even if she do like you, hold on now, let me go. Even when she do like you, now you got to spend your hard-earned money to take her out, impress her, buy her things, take her to the movies, take her out to eat, do all this stuff to impress her. And what do he get in return? Zero. And most women don't even want to have sex on the first date. So he's getting zero in return. He's spending all his money, all his time, all his gas for a girl who he don't even know gonna put out on the first date. And even if she do later on.
Okay, let me stop you right there, because that's the problem.
Okay.
The effort should not be with the sole objective of obtaining that one thing.
Who said that? All we said
you just said
no.
He just said he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing that, and he doesn't even know if he's going to get.
No.
Well, he shouldn't even be doing that if that's the only reason he's doing it for.
I agree. I don't know why men go out on dates anymore. I totally agree. I feel like no man.
No, I'm saying if someone really likes someone, they'll wait for them. They'll do whatever it takes.
Then why is it that women do that? If women really like a guy, why is she making him wait? Especially when she likes sex just as much as he do. Why is she making him wait?
Because she doesn't want to just be an object for someone. An
object when she want the same thing he want? That sounds crazy.
It's about respect. It's about respect. If something is given right away, then it's not appreciated.
That is not true. If somebody give me $1 million right now, I'm gonna love them to death. That is so not true. If somebody give me $1 million right now, I'm gonna love them to death, take pictures with them. When I buy my mansion, they can even come stay. Trust me, that is so not true.
Yeah, but if you had to work for that million, then you would appreciate it more than if it was just handed to you.
But if I had to, even if I work for the million, still I'm getting paid. I work for it, I'm getting paid. Most men, do you know how many women go out on dates just to get a free meal? I know for a fact.
Can we just talk about the history of men and women so you can better understand why they do that?
Why women take out what, please. So you hold on, we can real fast. But so you trying to tell me we finna go through the history of why women know that they are not sexually interested in a guy, but will use him for a free meal anyway, and somehow that's okay. And women do it all the time. Remember, now mind you, I know probably know more women than you, and they tell me all the time that I got a guy that can take me out to dinner. I just use him for dinner. Women tell me that all the time. And how is that fair to that man that actually care about and actually want to get to know her? How's that fair to him?
Okay, so let me just give you the
But no,
breakdown, the
but you ain't
history.
answer my question. How is that fair to
Let
a
me
man?
go
Because
into that
women
because
use
it's
women use men
psychological.
all the
There's been a
time.
lot of
I know,
psychological damage that women have to go through.
but women use men all, and you know that. You know, girls go out with
Yeah,
guys that they
because
don't
it's a
have no.
survival thing. They
But
have
how's
to
that?
go.
But how is taking money from a man you don't care about survival? How's that helping him out? Now, mind you, women want equality. So you mean to tell me it's okay for you to use him, but not for him to use
I'm
you
not
for
okay.
your
No,
body?
hold up. I don't want people to think it's me. I've been independent my whole life. I don't
No, no,
rely
no,
on
no, no.
anyone.
I don't mean that. I mean is what women feel
Um,
like. Women feel like if
I
men
don't
won't.
judge other women that do that because they may have had a harder upbringing. They may have been the victim of different things. And in turn, you know how the saying hurt people hurt people. So that's kind of,
But I'm asking you, do you feel like that's okay for them to use a man knowing that she don't even care
I
about him?
feel like everyone on the planet has free will. And if
What?
someone, free will, they have the free
Uh,
will
but
to
but
make
that's
decisions.
but that's
To
not
make
true.
decisions.
You
So
you
if they choose to be duped or to do certain things, they didn't have a gun held at their head
well,
telling them to do those.
first of all, there's no such thing as choose. Women can manipulate men and make them feel like they're
But that's
something
their
when they
fault.
really that's a
That's
one
their
no,
fault.
that's women for being manipulative.
That's saying that they're
That's
not
the
in control.
bad
They are
thing.
always, everyone's always in control of their own actions.
But well, first of all, that's not how that works. It's you know how many women. I'm gonna tell you something. It's something on TikTok. I don't know. I know you've seen it before. Did you see that TikTok phrase where the woman said, "I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me show you how to get this ring." And her husband's daughter, the one he had before he married her, said in the background, "You did before he married you, and then you show him your true colors." So how's that true when women can lie and manipulate, and then once they get
It's
what they
this,
want,
there's
then
a
they
saying,
change?
don't hate the player, hate the game. That's
Okay,
just the game.
so then why do women
So if
hate?
someone gets
Then why?
hustled,
But
that's
listen
their
to me.
own
Why
fault
do
for getting
women hate
hustled.
men then when they play women and don't and just use them for sex?
Because let
Why do
me
they
give
hate
you a
men?
crash course. Okay, so here's the history. Okay. Men have been privileged over women for centuries. Okay.
Never, Mama. Where you get this
Yes,
history from?
women
How's
weren't even
that,
allowed to vote.
Mama?
You
Who can?
marriage,
Hey, let me tell. Let me hold on real
the only
fast.
reason marriage even exists is because men wanted to contract women as being owned by them. That's why marriage exists in the first place. They wanted
Well,
a certificate to show that they owned that woman.
well. First of all, that's not true. Marriage existed because back in the days they wanted to keep families strong. So what they did was that people will get married and with a person that they don't even have a choice, like they family married them into marriage just to keep the lineage strong. So back in the days, like people had arranged marriages just to keep the bond and the marriage strong. That's, I mean, it came from Judaism, Christianity, you name it. People used to do arranged marriages to keep the bond strong. You know, I'm gonna give you my wife, and in return, we're going to keep this farm. We're going to keep this land. We're going to keep everything stronger.
Right. So they were
That's where
just
marriage
like
came from.
bargaining tools, which is sad. They were
But the,
never viewed as equal.
but you got to understand that was that man's job though. If I give you my daughter, just like I took care of my daughter, now you have to take care of my daughter. A woman is supposed to go from her father's house to her husband's house. She wasn't supposed to hit the strip club, hit the club, party all night. That's not a woman's job. A woman's job was supposed to go from her father's
No,
house
but the
to
man
her
was
husband's
supposed
house.
so the man was supposed to provide also.
Not only, but that's the whole point. He was supposed to provide and protect. So why do you think this is a bad thing for a woman to go from her father's house, who's supposed to provide and protect, to go to her husband's house, who's supposed to provide and protect? She only had one job to do, and that's keep the family strong. Nowadays, these women don't even know how to raise another woman. They don't. They don't
Because
even
they
know. They're
have
not
to,
even
because
teaching
you
the
want to
women
know
nothing.
why? Okay, because if you'll just let me finish, I
All right,
could
I'm
tell
finished.
you the whole history.
I just told you the history. What are you
No,
talking
because
about?
you're giving me
No, I'm not.
biased questions now.
But I'm telling you the truth history of arranged marriage and how marriages became to be. Marriages was to keep the family together. It wasn't nothing else. It was only to keep the families together. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. So you want the true history.
Go ahead,
The
Mom.
Rockefellers funded the women's rights movement because they wanted to be able to tax the entire population and not just half of the population. And furthermore, they wanted to break down the structure of the family. And they knew if more women were working, then there would be less families and there would be more tension at home. And they could tax them for less pay. So it was a win-win. So that's why he
Congratulations.
funded the movement. But it backfired on him because he never thought that women would become so powerful. And now what's happening is that they're being expected to work and raise kids and do it all. And before it was they could just solely focus on that one duty of keeping the home and keeping the kids. But now they got to take care of the home, the kids, and work. And so then it's like, what are men? So they're increasing what they're contributing to the table, but men are just becoming worse and worse.
Men, and remember now, we're talking about marriage here. Men that I know that want to get married, they want to get married to their mothers. And there are no women now, modern times, like their mothers, like my mama. Who my mama cooked and cleaned for my daddy, took off his shoes, ran this bath water. How many women you know going to do that? My mama raised us. She ain't stick us in no daycare. She ain't stick us in nothing. We was there for every meal. She was there for every time I scraped my knee. My mama was a traditional wife. How many women are traditional wives, but they still want to get married? Please explain to me how many women you know are traditional women, but they still want to get married and be treated like a traditional woman.
They're a product of the changing environment and
how's that men's fault when they want to go get a job? My mama never had a job in her life and had a husband her entire life.
Because men now are okay with women taking care of them financially and
but that's the whole point I'm trying to make. I'm gonna tell you another reason why a lot of men are not good. And I want you to tell me how you feel about it. I talk to a lot of men. Of course, you know, I talk to a lot of men. I'm always with men. I'm in the music business. Men tell me, and this is something that I haven't had a problem with, why I stopped dating, right? Years ago. Never once. And now you tell me how you feel. Not one time, not once have I ever heard a woman in my entire life, actually, but in my mama time, it was different. Not once have I ever heard a girl say, man, I can't wait to get married so I can treat my husband like a king. So I can look out for my husband, cook and clean for my husband. I can take care of my husband. Whatever he need, I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure my husband, listen, I'm going to make sure my husband be the only man on the planet Earth. I'm going to treat him like he the only man on the planet Earth. How many times have you ever heard a woman say, I only want to get married to serve my husband? Every time I ever heard a woman say, I want to get married, it was always, I want this. I want, I. She never once ever bring up what she going to do for the man. Not one time have I ever heard a woman say what she want to do for the man. It's always what she wants. She is not the only person in the marriage. There's two people in the marriage. Why do she only care about what she want and not what the husband want? Now you can go.
Okay. So to answer that, I would say it's because men are becoming weaker. They're not providing as much. Maybe the cost of living has gone up more, maybe because of the Rockefellers funding
Mama,
women to have to go back to work.
But you hold on, Mom, hold on. You got to answer my question though. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if it's two people in an apartment, that's it. And they thinking about getting married. And she's saying, before I marry you, I want you to make more money. I want you to buy a bigger house for us. I want you to do a car. What is she's telling him? Before I marry you, I'm going to treat you like this. I'm going to do this for you. Why aren't women saying what they are bringing to the table? Anytime you ask a girl what she brings to the table, she frees up like she never heard that before. And trust me, if all
what are they bringing? No.
What are they bringing to the table?
Women are expected to carry the child.
Mom, they don't even carry a child. A lot of these women aborting kids left and right. What are you talking about? A lot of these women aborting kids left and right. And they're
expected to carry the child. They're expected to take care of the home, and they're expected to work.
Take care of what?
And I just talked to a girl 2 days ago who just had a baby. She said her maternity leave was only like 8 weeks long, and bam, she's expected to go right back to work.
Is she married to the guy that she pregnant by?
Yes.
She married to him?
Yes.
How long they been married, you think?
For several years.
They
So
been
she popped this baby out, is taking care of this baby, and now within 8 weeks, she's got to go back to work.
Well, why do she got to go
That's
back
what's
to work?
wrong with society now.
But
So women are
why?
expected to do so much,
But
and
who's expecting her to do that?
that is society now.
Mama,
They
who,
want
it's
you to
only
go
two.
right
It's
back to
only
work
two. It's
within
only two
several
people in
weeks.
the house, her and her husband. So who's telling her to go back to work? I got family members who, when they had a brain, when they got pregnant, my cousins told them, "You ain't never got to go back to work ever. I mean, you just stay here and raise the kids." Who are telling her to go back to work? Don't say society, because society don't live with her. Only her and her husband and the child live with her. So who's telling her to go back to work? Exactly. She want to work. It ain't
No,
no society.
it's the
She want
US.
to work.
The US, now some other countries do better. Like I think Iceland, I forget what other country, but they have like where the maternity leave is several months long. The US is like the only country that expects women to go back to
Mama,
work
did you hear any? Mama, you're not
within
hearing nothing I'm
No,
saying.
you're not hearing
Nobody, but
me.
nobody is
The
expecting her to go
US
back to work.
maternity leave
Mama,
is like
no.
8 weeks long.
All right,
So that's
baby,
the United States of America that
okay,
said that long.
but nobody's expecting her to go back to work. Is she only
Yes, they
live?
are, because
No, she's
maternity
not.
leave will only pay you
Mama, what?
up to 8 weeks in
Who
the
cares
US.
about maternity leave?
Excuse me, when you have a baby,
my
you're
mama
supposed to
had
be.
my mama had 8 kids. Never had. What you mean? She never went to work. She took care of her kids. Who are telling this girl to go to work?
Okay, so then
Who
she
is
had a
telling
really
this
good
girl to go to
provider.
work? So
it goes both ways.
no, I agree 1,000%. So can we get back real quick?
The same way women scheme, the same way men scheme in the DMs on Insta, going through every model that they send the same copy and pasted message to.
You know what? I'm glad you brought it up. Let me ask you a question, because this is another thing that men talk about that women don't seem to understand, right? Women say things, but and remember we were talking about this earlier. Women say things and women lie all the time, constantly. You don't even know when women telling the truth, because they lie all the time. They say things but do something totally opposite. Like, how many times have I talked to my friends? Because remember, I'm in the medical field, nothing but women. And they always talk about how they want a good man, they want a good guy, but then they'll turn right back around and say, "Sean, I knew he was a loser. I can't believe I slept with him. I knew he wasn't nothing, but I slept with him." Why do women say one thing and do the other? Please explain that to me. Why do women lie and say they want a good man and then turn around and say they knew he was a bad boy, but she was attracted to him, so she did him anyway? And now she heard that he did her wrong when she said to herself that she knew that he was bad. Why do women say one thing and do the other?
The men do the same thing.
No, mama, see, don't deflect. We talking about women now. We'll get the men. We talking about women. Why do women say one thing and do the other? Don't deflect. Let's stay on topic. Why do women say one thing and do? And you know,
I can't speak for everyone, but
Mom, you can speak for a woman. You know, women choose bad boys all the time, but claim they want a good man. You know that.
I think that they have low self-esteem. That's what I think it is.
You think it's low, but why you have to lie about it? Just don't say nothing. Just don't lie and say.
I think it's low
man.
self-esteem. They want someone good, but they go for someone bad because their self-esteem isn't high enough to not accept that behavior.
What do you think is low self-esteem, or do you think women just want what they want, even if it's bad for them?
No, I think that all women, nobody wants to be in a bad situation. No one.
But what I'm saying is, do you feel like women just want what they want? Like, I mean, perfect example. It's women that want a Louis Vuitton purse, even though they can't afford it. So instead of getting a cheap purse, they still want that Louis Vuitton purse, even though they can't afford it. So do you feel like women just want what they want, even if it's bad for them? They still want what they want.
You're comparing a purse to a man.
Well, no, not a man. I'm saying women. I mean, what I'm saying is women in general. I noticed that women all the time tell me that they want a good man. They want somebody to treat them right, but yet they'll turn around. Now, this is the same woman. She'll turn around and tell me, "Sean, I went out with this guy. I knew I shouldn't have went out with him because he did my girl a certain way, and I gave him a chance, and he did me the same way, and I knew he was going to do it." Now, mind you, I'm in the medical field. Women tell me this all the time, and I'm thinking to myself, why did you give him a shot when you just said that he did your girl wrong? it's like women like bad boys. Like they're attracted to what they're attracted to, and even if it's wrong, they don't care. As long as they're attracted to him, they'll let him slide. Well, they'll let an ugly
Okay,
guy.
I think you're asking why are women more attracted to bad men, to
No,
bad
no,
boys than
what that
good guys?
and one more question: why they would try to the bad men, and why do they lie and say they want a good man, and they will pass over a good man that they know is probably good for the guy
Okay,
that they
so
know is bad?
okay, so that's a good question. So to answer that, I would say that the first part of it, women do want a good guy. They do. Even if they're attracted to the opposite, they still want it. They
Mhm.
still want a good guy. Nobody wants to be disrespected. Nobody wants to be involved with someone that's going to hurt them because heartache is so terrible that no one would actually prefer that over a safety net. So they want someone good, but the problem is they end up being attracted to the opposite of that because of the self esteem. And that's why hot girls are always attracted to the guys that treat them the worst because they're used to guys being so nice all the time that when they get someone that's not nice, they're like intrigued by it. They think that they're better because they're not like being like everyone else to them.
But don't you think that? But that's
And
what.
they like the chase of that.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't you think that that is oxymoron where you like? Why would
And
you say?
I think a lot of them think that they can change them. They like to feel like, oh, I can, I can really make them different. I can, evolve them. And because I'm pretty sure like when Cardi B got with what's his name, um, I don't think she was thinking, oh, I'm gonna be cheated on all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But getting with a rapper, you should already know what he is surrounded by. And she knew that he was surrounded by, and she knew that as a woman, she is not going to sleep with all her fans like he might. She know
Right.
that
But
from
like
the
here's an
beginning.
example. I knew a girl in college who had a boyfriend that would come visit from out of out of the city. He would drive 2 hours to come see her every weekend, and she would cheat on him all the time. And I said, "How can you do that?" And she said, "Because we're not married yet, and as long as I don't do this when I'm married, then it's fine." So some people have the mentality that they're that they will change when they're married. So when the other person doesn't change when they're married, it's because they don't have the same values. So you may fall in love with the worst person, but then you expect them to change when you get married. You expect them to take it more serious.
Huh. Okay. I got you. I got you.